Go crazy. I said this in yesterday's stream, but Underdog Fantasy is about to have one of their contests get completely filled. Like a shout out Underdog. Of course, the puppy draft, started a couple weeks ago, and they're about to be 111,000 people who have drafted in this, but we are going to possibly draft in a few of these. Okay, so we are possibly, just possibly, going to get multiple drafts going at once so we can try to, I don't want to say max register this contest. It would have been nice if we could have had the max amount of entries, but it is what it is. It's not my fault. Underdog Fantasy is now too popular. There are too many people drafting here. Congratulations to them, of course. It would have been nice if I could have some more of these drafts, but let me know if y'all want us to get 2 drafts going at once. Now, I will say it's probably going to be difficult to do just that when we are drafting at the 107, and it looks like we have some difficult drafters to go up against. We have Fully Loaded out here. We have Dark Horse. We have No Soup for You. We have Fality. I don't like seeing these names in our draft. This is going to be a pretty damn tough one. But let's go through and let's pull up the chat. We have Eric, FF, Chris, always Eric and Chris out here. Purple Party, DJ, Zach, and Spencer all out in the chat. Thank y'all so much, my dudes. And Blind Luck Poker says he is Dark Horse in this draft. Okay, my man, I'm looking forward to going against you. In reality, I'm not, because I know that y'all have a decent idea of exactly what I'm trying to do in every single one of these drafts now, which is, it's difficult for me. Now, let me do a couple things. Let's A, go jump in another draft, and B, I got to point this out to everybody. Go take the over on Underdog Fantasy. We really don't talk about these over-unders that much with their player props, but they just do this to get people to sign up. It doesn't matter if you signed up last week. It doesn't matter if you signed up today. It doesn't matter if you signed up tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you signed up a year ago. You are going to have access to this special line on Draymond Green. Just go take the over. They know that they're going to lose money on this, but they do it so they can get people to sign up. And let's go and let's jump into another draft here. We are going to get 2 going at once, okay? 2 drafts at once. Oh, this is going to be tough. This is going to be brutal. And let's send out a poll. Please, if you have not dropped a like on the live stream, make sure you do that right now. We are multi-tabling fantasy football drafts so we can try to get in as many of these as possible. And also, it's a special live stream in that I think that we are about to pass over 200 total drafts so far this offseason. Real money fantasy football leagues, of course. And we are going to go ahead and we are going to take Stephon Diggs at pick 7 in this draft. Don't necessarily have to think about this too much. I think that's going to be an easy one. The other draft has filled, and the other draft we are going to be selecting at the 108. So let's go ahead and let's start queuing up our options here. I'm going to do my best to try to be entertaining in this live stream and to still try to give some actionable advice. Please don't get upset with me if I'm showing one draft too much, one draft too little. Oh, this is going to be tough, and I'm maybe not going to be able to read the chat as often as usual. So let's show this draft board. Oh, we have to draft next to Zach in this one as well. I did not even notice. He goes CeeDee Lamb at pick 8. We have Noah taking Mark Andrews at pick 9. So we have some people going a little crazy in this draft so far. Good for us. I want to see some craziness. We want to have some values falling to us. Of course, Mark Andrews would have been a player I really enjoyed drafting in the second round, so that sucks, but it is what it is. And let me go through and Hayes Gaming says, do I have to enter a code or just randomly get into yours? Okay, so later on this offseason, probably starting tomorrow since this contest is about to fill. Oh, okay, we have Mahomes going in the first. This is great. This is great, ladies and gentlemen. But starting tomorrow, we'll do private drafts. I'll just send out the link in the live chat and y'all can join a private draft for these public lobbies. Essentially, you just have to join at the same time that I do. But speaking of codes, my man, I know you're setting me up. You're lobbing it to me so I can dunk it down. Make sure if you have not done so already, go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Go have some fun in these drafts. We do these live streams every single day, so you can hop into these drafts with us on the stream or just go draft in the public lobby, draft with your friends. But go sign up and use promo code FLOCK. And when you use promo code FLOCK, they will match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100. You will get our rankings, our Dynasty rankings, our Dynasty rookie rankings. So you'll get pretty much everything. And you can go enter in some drafts and draft Derrick Henry at pick 12. Fantastic value with Derrick Henry. We are about to go ahead and take him at pick 8 in our other draft because Stephon Diggs is not available. Okay, but let's go through. Let's find some other ones. Steven says, Mason, you absolutely crushed the Fantasy Pros mock draft this morning. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Let's find what happened. Coming out with a donation says, in Dynasty, would you trade the 104 and Devontae Adams for Cooper Kupp? No, I would not do that. No. I mean, that 104, you're going to be looking at someone like Treylon Burks in your rookie draft. I would prefer the combination of Treylon Burks and Devontae Adams in Dynasty over Cooper Kupp. Okay, so let's slide this over. I believe we are going to be closer on the clock in this draft where we took Derrick Henry in the first round. You have Najee Harris, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce going afterwards. So this looks like the normal draft room, okay? So this looks like it's going to be a standard draft compared to the other one that we have. Okay, this team is doubling up on tight ends. So what this means is we're probably going to be looking to take an elite tight end early if we can because they are trying the bully tight end strategy. We don't want to alter our strategy too much because of them, but it's definitely something that I want to at least have in the back of our mind. Let's see where Empty Darkness goes. Oh, we are on the clock in the other draft as well. So the other draft, I hate this. Let's go ahead and let's take Deebo Samuel in this other draft. It sucks, but it is what it is. And then in this one, when we're on the clock, I guess we're going to go Deebo Samuel as well. We're going to go back-to-back drafts here with Deebo Samuel. Don't necessarily love the idea of drafting Deebo Samuel a ton this year. You should see some regression coming in based on those rushing touchdowns in particular. But hell, it's pick 18. Let me know what y'all would do in the comment section. I would say I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Evans has a higher advance rate because Mike Evans is going to have such a large role at the very beginning of the offseason. Very beginning of the season with no Chris Godwin. But if he has a very high advance rate, and then by the time we get to the playoffs, which is where the majority of this money is won, a ton of teams in there have Mike Evans, and then by that time you have Chris Godwin back. I think Mike Evans would be more appealing in one of these private drafts than he would be in these massive public leagues that have a lot of the money for that tournament at the very end. Okay. Suzuki coming out. It says, yo, Mason, happy weekend, my friend. No, happy weekend, my man. Thank you for coming out. Hope that y'all have enjoyed your weekend so far. Hope that y'all are going to have some fun tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. Kyle says, you are so down bad mock drafting in June. My man, this is not a mock draft. This is a real money fantasy football draft, and we are about 200 drafts in this offseason. Loving life. I'm telling you, I'm not down bad whatsoever. This is the most fun thing you could ever do on the planet. Okay, so afterwards, we have Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, some running backs going off. Obviously, it would be nice to have one of those top-end running backs making it back to us at pick 31, which it's not. Oh, my God. Well, 1 second. Mahomes and Herbert, Andrews and Kelce on the same team. Okay. We need to take note of this, okay? This is a crazy draft room. We can make some money in this draft room. That's going to be exciting. Okay, let's go through. Let's look at what we're going to be looking at with this pick. Leonard Fournette goes right before us. This is the league where we start Derrick Henry and Deebo Samuel. Okay, we're 2 picks away. Javonte Williams falling as honestly he should be. And I'm sorry if this is too hard for everybody to follow along with, but it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it. I've been talking about Javonte Williams being an overdrafted player when he was going at the 2-3 turn, but if we're getting him at the 308, I'm going to be fine paying that price. Kyle Pitts goes right before us. Kyle Pitts was going to be someone that we were looking at grabbing. Oh my, look at all this value available to us right now. Leonard Fournette, Nick Chubb, Javonte Williams. Now, one thing that I am worried about is I am worried about that team that went with the combination of Mahomes and Herbert to start off. I'm worried that they may try to ruin this draft room and just try to draft QB after QB after QB. For that reason, and also the fact that we have Stephon Diggs on this team, I will take Josh Allen over Nick Chubb. Not doing that very often, but look at the craziness we have had in this draft. Look at that craziness we've had with the combination of Mahomes and Herbert going here. See how many picks we are away from here. Okay, so very standard draft room on this end. Like, yeah, very rarely are you seeing Javonte Williams fall to pick 32. But outside of that, I don't necessarily think there are too many things we need to take note of. Final Fantasy Draft did take 2 tight ends here. Hollywood Brown at the 401. I wonder if they end up going with Patrick Mahomes or if they feel like they need to grab an extra running back or an extra receiver because they went with the bully tight end strategy. They go Courtland Sutton, pick 38. Y'all know I wasn't looking for Courtland Sutton, so I'm fine with it. Clint says, was going to join Underdog, but didn't want to take 5 minutes to scroll through putting in my birthday. My man, I know it's very hard to remember your birthday. I know most people can't remember their birthdays, and you do have to go through and look something like that up. So I completely understand sometimes your birthday gets away from you and you have to go find that birth certificate at the very bottom of your drawer. It's very difficult, a very difficult process. Not too many people can handle just putting their birthday into a platform because you have to be 18 years old to do Underdog. And let's go through, and we have this team taking Kyler Murray at the 310. So there's some stuff going on here. Dear God, we may have to go through and report this draft room, unless this person may just have no idea what they're doing. Maybe they go 3 quarterbacks in a row, but maybe they just go ahead and grab a quarterback through every single round. If that were to happen, I'm assuming Underdog would just refund everybody in the entire draft room and the draft would go in the garbage. But let's see if they stop taking quarterbacks here. Scott says, I'm just getting the Underdog app now. So how does that promo code work for puppy drafts? It's asking for a code just first thing signing up. That's not it, right? Yeah, no, it's the code first thing when you sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Darren Waller ends up going at pick 38. I would have liked getting Darren Waller, making it back to us, but it is what it is. And yeah, on Underdog Fantasy, you just put in that promo code FLOCK right away when you go sign up. Then you can go through and you can hop into whatever drafts you want. Okay. Jalen Hurts at the 403. Okay, I'm honestly probably going to stop showing this draft. I'm assuming this draft is just getting thrown in the trash. Sometimes people go through and they try to mess up a draft room like this, and I'm assuming Underdog is just going to refund everyone. But hey, we were drafting 2 teams, so if we were drafting 2 teams, then hell, it's going to be fine regardless. We'll take James Conner here in the 4th, so we can just go through and we can just look at this draft room. I wonder what happens on OBS if I go through. Clint says, why is this moron taking all the quarterbacks? I'm assuming he thinks he's a funny guy. I'm assuming he thinks that maybe he's trying to do some collusion. I don't know. But Jerry Jeudy at the 405 may set us up later on to go Russell Wilson. We need to be thinking about this. Also, we have Deebo Samuel. We could be looking for Trey Lance. Overall, I think it's a very strong start to this league, in particular when we have the combination of Henry and Javonte, Deebo and Jerry Jeudy. DK Metcalf goes here at pick 55. Okay, let's look at this. I know we don't need running back here. I know 9 times out of 10 people would say you probably just want to go ahead and you want to grab a wide receiver. I'm going to consistently grab David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs at this turn. Like, I'm getting David Montgomery and Josh Jacobs here all the time. Like, if we go through, I actually just wrote the David Montgomery chapter in our draft guide. And I know some people are worried, for whatever reason, about the possibility of Khalil Herbert having an expanded role this upcoming season. If we look at games that David Montgomery was healthy in, keep in mind, David Montgomery went down at the beginning of the year. Khalil Herbert, he had his big stretch at the end of October. Once you had David Montgomery coming back into this offense, Khalil Herbert's carries down the stretch from November 8th to January 9th. 4, 1, 4, 4, 1, 0, 2, 2, 4. Like, they are not using him. They are not using Khalil Herbert really at all. Let's go through, and I'm just having to pull this up to figure out where we are drafting. This is the league that's probably getting thrown in the garbage with that team taking 4 quarterbacks in a row, but we'll queue up these 3 guys. It doesn't really matter. And Dalton Schultz goes at the 512. Early for Schultz. Definitely early for Dalton Schultz. That team did take CeeDee Lamb. Obviously, they're wanting to get Dak Prescott coming back in the 8th, but I've had Dalton Schultz fall to us at the end of the 7th round. I've been able to get the double stack with Dalton Schultz and CeeDee Lamb at a value compared to this. So hell, if both our teams advance, if Dallas is the number 1 offense and it flows through those 2 guys, I'm going to outgun you in that tournament at the very end of the season. That's why I don't necessarily like going through and reaching. Jalen Hurts goes at pick 602. Brandon Cooks at pick 63. Let's find this. Our team, we need a receiver. Obviously, we need a quarterback as well. But this range, I think it's going to be easy. I think we're just going to go Darnell Mooney. Not much to discuss. Darnell Mooney's the best wide receiver available. The man was like a top 24 option last year in year 2, and now he's going as the wide receiver 30 with no Allen Robinson in this offense. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll take Darnell Mooney. We have a donation coming out from No Chill Bill. Long time no see, my man. It says, good to be out here. Looking forward to winning my friend's fantasy football league this year. Thank you, my man, of course, for all the support that you've showed over a long time with this channel. And of course, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Okay. Justin says, I didn't even realize you were live streaming until I saw you in my draft. LOL. I'm Juice Box Hero. Okay. So let's go through and let's find Justin. Okay. So he's drafting here. He took Darren Waller, James Conner earlier on. Okay. So a very standard start. Wishing you the best of luck, my man, but I'm sorry you're playing for second place here. Like, I do need to apologize. If you hop into this league, if you hop into any draft with me, all of a sudden you are, instead of drafting for first, drafting to try to really make some noise, you're playing for second. Okay. Just to let you know, you are playing for second place. Okay. So all of a sudden, no, maybe this league, maybe this guy just has no idea what the hell he's doing because he ends up going wide receiver. So it looks like maybe this league doesn't get thrown out. Maybe this draft actually matters. So if we go through, if we show this, I know a lot of people probably would have preferred us to go with someone like Breece Hall here at pick 55. Main reason I go Allen Robinson is Allen Robinson only goes at the 4 or 5 turn. I've never seen Allen Robinson really fall this far and fall to a team that got James Conner in the 4th, Josh Allen in the 3rd. So I think it is going to be a unique start if we grab Allen Robinson there. And we should expect to see some of these quarterbacks slide up the draft board because this jackass. Let's see. Maybe this draft still gets ruined. Maybe he goes ahead and takes another quarterback. And if that would happen, I'm assuming Underdog throws in the trash, but we'll see. Hayes says, you like Darnell Mooney over Adam Thielen? Question mark. Yes, I do like Darnell Mooney over Adam Thielen. Thielen's going to be, what, 33 years old this upcoming season? I mean, Darnell Mooney was almost a top 24 option, if not a top 24 option last season. Let's see. What does he do? Okay, he goes wide receiver. He goes Amari Cooper. Okay, so let's pull this up and look at these running backs that made it back to us. So I think we did make the right call passing on Breece Hall a little earlier. Okay, so we have Devonta Smith, pick 64. And I will say, if I'm drafting like in the morning, like at the gym, like on the Stairmaster or like in a sauna or like as I'm writing my draft guide, this is what I do. I'm in multiple drafts at once. That's probably how y'all see me in so many of these drafts, even when we're not streaming. It's just much more difficult for me to live stream for people to follow along if we're doing 2 drafts at once. But let me know if you enjoy it more. Let me know if you prefer me. We're going to go Juju Smith-Schuster just based off ADP and ADP alone. Like I know it's boring, but we're going to be in what? 400 of these drafts this offseason. So we need to consider that. Okay, so we are on the clock here. I think this team needs quarterback. We have Jerry Jeudy, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Russell Wilson. Really need quarterback, getting him behind his ADP. We already have running backs loaded up, so I don't love the idea of taking A.J. Dillon or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But let me know, can y'all follow along when we're doing 2 drafts at once? Because it's more fun for me. It's more fun for me getting into drafts at once, bouncing back and forth. If y'all can follow along, we'll do this from now on. And also, more of y'all will be able to get in drafts with us if we were in 2 at once. Okay, so Russell Gage goes pick 82, A.J. Dillon 81. Katie says, surprised Amari went behind Chris Godwin considering the injury. Amari Cooper's just been plummeting. Like if you're looking at Amari Cooper's ADP, if you're looking at Deshaun Watson's ADP, I took Deshaun Watson as like a low-end quarterback 3 in the last draft. Like, it's getting crazy to a point where I think the entire overall market is just baking in Deshaun Watson doesn't play this season. At least that's what the market's saying. I may not necessarily agree with it, but of course, I'm just an idiot with a microphone. Okay, so let's pull this up. I would love Hawkinson making it back. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to end. I need to shut my mouth. There are people watching this live stream. I was going to say, if he doesn't, I was going to end up going with Mr. Trey Lance at pick 89. Stack him up with Deebo Samuel. Y'all know I love me some Trey Lance. Now, empty darkness on the clock. He took Kyle Pitts. He only has 1 wide receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if he passes on Hawkinson. He goes Hawkinson. F you, buddy. Oh, where are we going? I think we pass on both these options. I think we go Tyler Lockett. Not loving this team. Not loving this team at all. Quarterback position is going to be ugly going forward. Okay, so let's slide over to a draft where we have decent quarterbacks, and we are about to be on the clock. This draft here, we have Allen, James Conner. a bunch of wide receivers. Okay, I'm very rarely ever taking Elijah Mitchell. I mean, Elijah Mitchell is one of my least drafted wide receivers so far. But if he's falling to the 707, I mean, earlier this offseason, the man was being drafted in the 5th. Like, I think he definitely needed to fall quite a bit. But once we get to the late 7th round, all of a sudden, I think Elijah Mitchell does become at least interesting. Okay, so let's go through, show off this board. This is the one where we had the jackass over here going 4 quarterbacks in a row, messing up everything. Now, I will say we have Josh Allen, so I'm chilling. We have Josh Allen, so I'm chilling. Jeremy says, you sniped my Trey Lance with Ayuk and Kittle. I am hurt. My man, I didn't take Lance. I was going to take Lance if he fell to us. But sadly, we do not have Lance on this team. After we took Lockett, very standard draft board so far. I just think it would be very difficult for us to take Tony Pollard here, considering the running back core that we had compared to wide receivers. Okay. And please spam the chat right now, because I don't think I've seen a single person talk about this. Do you prefer me doing 1 or 2 drafts at once? Is it something y'all can watch? Is it okay content for me to do 2 drafts at once? Or is it just way too much? And am I just being crazy here? Please let me know if y'all prefer 1 or 2 drafts at one time. Y'all know I love getting 2 drafts. Okay, Chase says 2. Henry says 1. Stefan says 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Okay, so it looks like it's like half and half. Maybe this is something we can do occasionally, but not all the time now, because it looks like still a lot of people prefer 1 draft. Okay, real quick, and we always say if we get 150 likes on the live stream, we'll get another draft going after this one, and that's what I'm going to say. 150 likes in this live stream, we'll get another draft going after this one. Okay, so the 104, we have Cordell Patterson, Kareem Hunt sitting there. Quarterbacks, I'm not really interested in Derek Carr. We don't have Devontae Adams. We don't have Darren Waller. I see no point in going Derek Carr with this team. James Cook goes, so... gross. Assuming we take Cordell Patterson, it's going to be a team where we only draft 5 RBs. Oh, I do not like this team. We have Russell Wilson at quarterback, Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson at running back, wide receiver, Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney, and Tyler Lockett. Okay, let's slide back over here. This is a team where we do not have any Dallas Cowboys players, but we can get Gallup. We can get Tolbert later on. And more importantly, this is the team that jackass at the beginning took 4 quarterbacks. So he took 4 quarterbacks. So I think we need to adjust. And if we're getting Dak Prescott still 5 picks behind his ADP, I think we have to go through and we have to take Dak Prescott. Like, it's not something I would do in a regular league, but look at this. This isn't a regular league. Like, dear God. So we're going to go Dak, assuming that the rest of these quarterbacks are going to get pushed up the board. See how far away we are here. We're only 4 picks away here. This is the team where we have, well, we just discussed, a pretty bad start. Not nearly as exciting as the other league. But we will have wide receivers available to us. That's why we went with Cordell Patterson at pick 104 when he slid 14 picks behind his ADP. I mean, 9 picks behind his ADP. I apologize. I'm an idiot. Would we have to take Zach Ertz if Zach Ertz was available? I just hate Zach Ertz. Tyler Boyd, Chase Claypool. Spam the chat. We don't have a tight end yet. I prefer Robert Woods, Christian Watson over Zach Ertz in a vacuum. I'm very rarely drafting Ertz, but I think we may have to on this build. Spam the chat the name you want. Spam the chat the name you want. Okay. Looks like a lot of people are saying Christian Watson, but I apologize. The lag on the stream did not allow us to take him. Very few people were saying Zach Ertz. I mean, we have Brock, we have Famous Jay, we have Robert, we have Suzuki saying Zach Ertz. My bad, guys. My bad. I think it's marginal. The issue with taking Zach Ertz here at pick 113 is I think we still have to draft 3 tight ends. I don't think we're getting away from drafting 3 tight ends regardless. of if we take Zach Ertz there or Robert Woods, Zach Ertz or Christian Watson. So it does put us in a very bad situation. Okay, so let's go through and let's show off this draft room. This is the one we took Diggs, Debo, Allen, Connor, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Elijah Mitchell, and Dak Prescott. We took Dak Prescott here simply because just the jackass earlier took 4 quarterbacks. So we're hoping that this means we have quarterbacks flying off the board and value at other positions falling to us. Okay, so we are about to be on the board at pick 103. If Dallas Goedert's there, we are going to go ahead and take Dallas Goedert. Similarly to quarterback, we had someone else in this draft go ahead and draft the combination of Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce together. So I do think that we have to be on the lookout for tight ends possibly getting pushed up as well. We do not have a tight end just yet. So we'll take Dallas Goedert at 103. I am very confident that we are going to get some value falling to us at the running back position in round 10, if that's where we want to go. Let's move over to this draft board. And so far, after Zach Ertz, you had Robert Woods. Christian Watson made it all the way to pick 119. Like, oh my gosh, if I was Patty Mag here and you had Aaron Rodgers sitting at pick 97, I would have been losing my mind. I would have been losing my mind praying that you had Christian Watson falling one more pick. I would have been so upset if you didn't. Tim Patrick goes pick 121. We were really hoping Tim Patrick was going to make it to us here at pick 128, but it is what it is. Cannot cry about it. You have Justin Fields, Jameis Winston going off right now. We probably wouldn't have taken Jameis, but Justin Fields would have been in play on a team that took Darnell Mooney in the 6th. Okay. So now we don't want running back. If running back's best available, we will take running back. Let's see what happens. And I feel like I don't really like Rondale Moore, but I've come away with a ton of Rondale Moore in these drafts. Like if you look at Rondale Moore's average depth of target, the man does not go downfield at all. Rondale Moore does indeed get drafted at 125. Is this team on auto? Sadly, no, that team's not on auto draft. A lot of those picks are ahead of ADP. I was hoping it was on auto draft. Okay, so do we just take a running back here? Take a running back here, stop at 5. No, I think we're stopping at 5 running backs almost regardless. Let's just go McCall Hardman. When in doubt, go wide receiver. You'll have other positions making it to you later on. Scroll down past this. Okay, so with this team, we took Dallas Goedert pick 103. Zach Ertz goes at 107. Like I said, I'm very comfortable with the running backs that we're going to get available to us at pick 114. I mean, I'm fine with any of these guys here. Any of these guys I'm going to be happy with. We honestly probably should look to go Gallup whenever we took Dak Prescott. Whenever we have Allen stacked up with Diggs, I'm not going to say it's a massive priority because we have so much value on this team. I think it's almost just our job to not mess it up, if we're going to be honest. Okay. So this team, what do? They go Robert Woods. Do we take Gallup to pair him up with Dak? It's at ADP. We're not necessarily reaching on him. See where Zach goes. Zach is a part of the flock watching this live stream. I'm assuming he's watching this live stream. I know he's a part of the flock. He took Lance. He sniped us on Lance. Of course, we were hoping Lance made it back, but it is what it is. And we need to make this pick and then bounce to the other league real quick. Okay, so this one we only have 2 running backs. We have James Conner, Elijah Mitchell at wide receiver. We have Diggs, Debo, Allen Robinson, and Juju Smith-Schuster. He goes Jameson Williams. Let's go ahead and let's take Gallup. We'll pair him up with Dak. Not too exciting, but it is what it is. Let's find our next league. This is the one where we are pretty thin at tight end and quarterback. If we were to take Dameon Pierce here, we are done at the position. Let's take Dameon Pierce, and we are not going to take any more running backs. Oh, I hate this is one of my least favorite teams we've drafted in a while. This Russell Wilson team. Because the thing is, I think we have to draft 3 QBs, and I think we have to draft 3 tight ends. And the wide receivers are not nearly strong enough to get away with 7. Oh, brutal, brutal, brutal. Yeah, someone says it's a mock, bro. It doesn't matter. And then the next person says a mock worth $1 million. LOL. Yeah, this is a mock draft that is not a mock draft. This is a real money fantasy football draft that has some serious money available to it at the very end with that playoff tournament. Slide this down so y'all can see what we were looking at before. And this is the team that needs running backs making it back to us, which honestly, I think we will have RBs making it back. We'd be fine with Frymuth as well. Come on, start taking some of these quarterbacks, guys. Y'all realize that QBs are not going to be lasting much longer. Jamison Crowder, Ramondre Stevenson. It would have been nice having Stevenson making it to us at pick 127. I like this team so much more. This team, I think we're going to still draft 3 tight ends. But I think this team's strong enough to get by at 7 receivers. And we could go 6 RBs if we want. Because we have the combination of Allen and Dak. Derek says, I'm down to 1 puppy draft left. Oh, I'm jealous of you, my man. I'm not going to be able to max out the puppy. Sadly, I don't think we're getting there. I think right now we're sitting on like 120 puppy drafts. But if you add up all our drafts, I think we are hitting 200. Nick says, hey man, 12-team Superflex Dynasty League. Start 2 wide receiver full PPR was offered Jalen Waddle, George Pickens, and Justin Ross for Justin Jefferson. Should I keep Jefferson? First off, thank you so much for all the support that you've shown the channel over the past few years, my man. I do want to give you that massive thank you. And you easily keep Justin Jefferson, not even remotely close. Justin Ross is a wide receiver that isn't even guaranteed a roster spot this upcoming season, if we are going to be completely honest. So yeah, please don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just keep Justin Jefferson. Let's go ahead and let's take Ronald Jones as our running back 3. Did we just auto in the other? No, we did not. Okay, so in the other draft, we are 3 picks away. We are done at running back, so thank God we saw those running backs go off the board. We had a running back run. We are done at the position. We are only looking at QB, receiver, and tight end. We need, honestly, this is great for us as well. Come on. We need 1 to 2 players making it back. Let's see where Scuba Steve goes. Brandon says he's doing the deal and trading for George. No, even if you love George Pickens, it doesn't matter if George Pickens ends up being a top 24 wide receiver in Dynasty, which is unlikely, but it's possible. Even if it does happen, you still prefer Justin Jefferson over Jalen Waddle in another top 24 wide receiver in Dynasty. And booyah. Yes, sir. We are going to go ahead. We are going to get Jalen Tolbert, pairing him up. God, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I thought this was the Dak Prescott team. Tolbert's still fine value. Like, I'm still fine with Jalen Tolbert, but we shouldn't be over here dancing and celebrating about it. Oh, dear God. Yo, no, what we needed on that team was Alberto. We should not be dancing and celebrating. We should be crying. This is, okay, let's remind ourselves. This is the team where we have Allen and Prescott at quarterback, James Conner, Elijah Mitchell, Ronald Jones at RB, wide receivers, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael Gallup. And at tight end, we have Dallas Goedert. Okay, so let's get back into this mindset. We need to figure out where we are. Oh, God. That is tough. That is tough. And we are about to pass 100 likes in the live stream. Of course, thank you so much for everybody going down there, dropping a like. Like I said, we will get another draft going after this one, or at least 2 if we get 150 likes in the stream. Okay, Gesicki goes at the 12:01. Interesting that Falani didn't decide to just go Mike Gesicki and Tua Tagovailoa. That's personally what I would have done. Tua goes directly after. Yeah, I think if you can pair those 2 guys up on the turn when you only have 1 quarterback, 1 tight end, that'd be a nice pairing. Okay, so here, of course, we're happy that these running backs are making it back to us. I would be fine with Pat Frymuth as well. We still need tight ends. Oh, we are on the clock in the other league. This is the other league where we have Wilson at quarterback, running back, Henry, Javonte, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Dameon Pierce. We're done at RB. We need wide receiver and we need tight ends. And let's go ahead and let's say Joshua Palmer. There's a chance we get Watson even later than this. We're going to have to draft 3 quarterbacks almost regardless. Now we are on the clock in the other league. This is the one where we do need running backs. We need tight end as well. But let's go ahead and let's take Dameon Pierce. Not so excited about the talent in Dameon Pierce, but he does have an easy path to opportunity in Houston. And we're getting him 8 picks behind his ADP. We need another running back, yada, yada, yada. It's not great, but it is what it is. Let's go through and let's take Pierce. I wish I could look at these 2 leagues. Let me show the draft boards for anybody who's just now coming in. So here we are at the 107. We started off with Stephon Diggs, Debo, A-Rob, Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael Gallup at wide receiver. At running back, we have James Conner, Elijah Mitchell, Ronald Jones, and Dameon Pierce. At quarterback, we have Dak Prescott, Josh Allen, and at tight end, we have Dallas Goedert. Okay, so let's go through. Let's show off this other draft board. This other draft board, we started off at the 108. I am a lot less excited about this draft. We are building around the Denver Broncos with Javonte Williams, Jerry Jeudy, and Russell Wilson. But at running back here, we have Derrick Henry, Javonte, David Montgomery, Cordell Patterson, Dameon Pierce. So our running back room is complete. And then at receiver, we have Deebo Samuel, Jerry Jeudy, Darnell Mooney, Tyler Lockett, McCole Hardman, Jalen Tolbert. Quarterback, Russell Wilson. Tight end, Zach Ertz. I'm not in love with this team. Not at all. Like here, we probably want 2 more quarterbacks, and we probably want 2 more tight ends. I would like Watson making it to us. Okay. So let's see this. I'm assuming we actually will. This is why we passed on Watson. Like yesterday was like the final straw in terms of where Watson was going in these drafts. Because y'all know I'm in these drafts every single day. Like I'm getting at least 10 drafts in a day at the minimum. So I have a decent idea of where players are going at all times. And it seemed like Deshaun Watson ADP, it was holding up. Like Deshaun Watson was still going relatively early in these drafts, literally until yesterday. And then yesterday, like I was having to go through and search things on Twitter, seeing if there was some suspension that came out that somehow I didn't hear about it, because all of a sudden I was in a draft and I took 2 quarterbacks early. Like we had like Lamar and Dak Prescott. So I really couldn't draft another quarterback. And Dak Prescott was sitting there in Deshaun Watson was sitting there in like round 17. I was like, oh my God. Now on this team where we're going to draft 3 quarterbacks regardless, I'm fine taking Watson, saying, hell, it's a $5 buy-in, $75,000 to first. We're trying to find that elite level ceiling for the fantasy football playoffs in particular. So if he makes it, and he does, we are going to go ahead. We are going to take Deshaun Watson. We are taking a 3rd quarterback on this team regardless. But since this is that tournament style draft, I think you swing for the fences. And here we end up getting Jalen Tolbert to pair up with Dak Prescott, so we can do our little dance now. But it's a tournament style draft. Like I said, it's a $5 buy-in, $75,000 to first. So we're going to treat it like it's Major League Baseball in 2022. We're going for a home run, or we're going to strike out. That's the only thing I'm stepping up to the plate for. I'm not trying to step up to the plate and hit a single. I'm not trying to hit it in the gap. No, we're trying to hit it over the fence here. That's why we're going to take Deshaun Watson, pick 176. Kobe Short says, how many drafts do you plan on doing before the season starts? Every day I move the goalposts. Like literally, oh my God, when we started this like a month ago, I said we were going to do 200. Then whenever I realized, I was like, oh no, we're getting way more than these 200. Then I moved the goalpost to 300. Last week I moved it to 400. So what I can say is we are going to get into a ton of these. So make sure you go sign up, use promo code FLOCK, link in the description, so you can get in some of these drafts in the live stream. We'll do this literally every single day. Like I'm moving across the country in a couple of weeks, and I'm already going through and starting to record extra drafts for y'all so we can have those drafts going out every day. Rage says, don't say home run or strikeout, because I was at the Dodgers versus a Giants game yesterday. My man, I'll say. No idea what happened at the Dodgers versus Giants game. I'd assume Dodgers won, but it's just an assumption. Okay, so let's pull this up. What am I freaking supposed to do? This seems gross. This seems dead. We need to go 3 quarterbacks. I think we need to go 3 tight ends on this team as well. We don't have any stacks with this 3rd quarterback. It is what it is. That's not the team that we need to be proud of. The team that we need to be proud of is sitting right here. Coming up, pick 162. Josh Allen, Dak Prescott, quarterback. Running back, James Conner, Elijah Mitchell, Ronald Jones, Dameon Pierce. Wide receiver, Stephon Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert. And then we have Dallas Goedert at tight end. Okay, so let's see what this team does on the clock. I would honestly like bringing in Tyrion Davis-Price here. Putting together Tyrion Davis-Price as well as Elijah Mitchell. And we have Deebo Samuel getting every single touch out of this backfield outside of Trey Lance. Okay, so Donvo goes KJ Osborne. Looks like they're an auto draft. Looks like they came in here, took 4 quarterbacks, and then went on auto the rest of it. Like, dear God, what are you doing, big fella? So it looks like we need to be possibly worried about wide receivers drying up too. Like, I don't think we need to worry about running backs going anywhere. Marvin Jones, pick 160. I think we go either Hunter Henry, David Njoku, whoever falls. I don't think our quarterbacks play into this at all. I mean, looking at our roster construction, I will say if Zach passes on these guys, let me know who you want. Spam the chat. Do you want Hunter Henry or David Njoku? Spam it over and over and over again. Okay, it's Daggy says, do you like the start of Kelsey and Andrews for the first 2 picks? No. Every time I've tried it, it's been gross. Okay, Dog's literally spamming the chat saying Njoku. We have 2 votes for Njoku, 1 vote for Derrick Henry, another vote for Henry, then another Njoku, Henry, Njoku, Henry. Looks like it's half and half. I'm going to go with Mr. Hunter Henry. We are going to go with Henry. Different bye week than Dallas Goedert with Hunter Henry. I think there's an outside chance, just a small chance, that the New England Patriots surprise people this upcoming season with their passing volume. Most likely they're going to be a run-first offense where there's not a lot of production to go around, but there's an outside chance that's not the case. Okay, so let's queue up Logan Thomas, Austin Hooper. We are going to be getting one of these guys, and then possibly the other one makes it back. This is just such a gross team, though. Yeah, let's go Logan Thomas as our tight end 2. We're going to need to get 3 of these players because our tight end position is legitimately horrible. Tight end situation right now is Zach Ertz and Logan Thomas. Leaving the race says, do you like Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, and Kyle Pitts start? I think it's easier to pull off a bully tight end strategy like that where you're tagging along the combination of Mark Andrews as well as Kyle Pitts compared to Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce. Mr. Brownstone says, do you do any Superflex best ball drafts? Yeah, I mean, Underdog Fantasy had Superflex best ball drafts earlier this offseason. I wonder if they're going to add them back on. But yeah, I know we hopped into a few of those at the very beginning of the offseason. Davis Mills goes at pick 202. Good thing for us. We already have 3 quarterbacks. We don't need another quarterback coming in here. We are hoping that we get one of those tight ends falling. I think this will be our last pick in this draft. Then we'll be able to bounce back to the other one and finish that one out. Dog says, Mason, when do rookies get their profile pictures on Sleeper? My man, sadly, I do not work at Sleeper. Sadly, I have no idea. Wouldn't even be able to guess for you. Okay, Marlon Mack, pick 204. We're going to go Hooper here, and if Austin Hooper isn't available, do we go the rookie tight end for Denver? Crap. Did we just auto-draft the other league? We auto-drafted, but we took Tyler Higbee, the player that we would have taken regardless. Okay, so we auto-drafted, but it was a good auto-draft. We have Dak. Yeah, that's the league where we have 2 elite quarterbacks, so we can get away with drafting 3 tight ends. Okay, good. Now this one, I think we will get Austin Hooper making it back to us. Hooper's obviously gross, but they just have nobody to throw the ball to right now in Tennessee, so you can assume that he is going to get some volume. Katie says, Marlon Mack is a steal. Dude is going to be the running back 1 for the Houston Texans. I will be more willing to push Marlon Mack's ranking up once we get closer to the season and we can say for certain that he is on a roster. Once we're guaranteed that he's on a roster, I'd be more willing to draft him. Let's take Austin Hooper and let's ignore that this draft ever happened. Let's go to the draft that our team actually looks good with. Took Higbee in that last one. So from here, whenever we have Higbee, Henry, Dallas Goedert at tight end, we're done at tight end. At running back, we have Rojo, Damian Pierce, Elijah Mitchell, James Conner. We still need to bring in 1 to 2 more running backs. Receiver, we have Diggs, Debo, Allen Robinson, Juju, Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert. So I think this is a very strong team. I think we could go with 1 more running back if we wanted, and then 2 more wide receivers, which is probably what most people would say to do. I think based on where the value may fall, we could get away with taking 2 more running backs. As a receiver, I mean, our wide receiver 4 is Juju. Our wide receiver 5's Gallup. And if we take 2 more running backs, we can maybe assume that some of those running backs would slide into our flex spots as well. Caden says, Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey this year? Oh, it's easily going to be Christian McCaffrey for me, buddy. And no question about that. Carson Wentz goes at pick 181. AJ Green, pick 182. Come on. We want Edwards or Jamal Williams making it. I think there's a decent chance it happens. I'm assuming this team's going to auto-draft Gerald Everett. Seems projected to score 20. That team's probably going to be projected to score the most points in the league, which just shows you should not be listening at all to underdog projections. Okay, Everett goes to pick 183. Good thing for us, we have 3 tight ends. Okay, we should have the option to grab one of these guys because Zach already has 6 running backs, so we can't take a 7th. Spam the chat right now if we have the option for one of these players. Who are you going to prefer, Gus Edwards or Jamal Williams? Gus Edwards used to go rounds before this. Like, I literally made a video. I recorded the video like a week ago. It didn't come out until like 2 or 3 days ago. Laughing at Gus Edwards and his ADP when he was going like in the 14th round. Now we're getting him in the middle of the 16th. I think it's fine. Okay, Katie says Jamal. Chase says Jamal. Brett says Jamal. Jaden says Gus the Bus. Jaden, it looks like you are outgunned. It looks like you are not in the majority here. So we will be going Jamal Williams. Zach goes Kendrick Bourne. Let's take Jamal Williams here as our running back 5. So we have 2 more picks. 1 running back, 1 receiver. Slide this down. In terms of wide receivers that we could be looking at with this team, I know some people maybe would make the argument that we should take Isaiah McKenzie in the 18th round, that we should go ahead and we should potentially take Khalil Shakir in the 18th round so we can go through and pair them up with one of our quarterbacks. I honestly don't freaking care. It's our 18th round selection. I mean, if I think Tyquan Thornton, if I think Laviska Shenault, if I think Devin Duvernay would be a better option there, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to take that guy and not necessarily worry about the stack. Okay, so John Mechie goes pick 189. And Jaden says, I just got a John Mechie autographed football card. It's pretty cool, my man, I'll say. I don't think I've ever had a football card. I used to have a lot of baseball cards when I was younger, but I don't think I've ever had a football card. Katie says, anyone know, is Will Fuller going to play this season? Will Fuller will play this year. I mean, I've drafted, let me pull up my phone to see how many leagues I've drafted Will Fuller in, because with Will Fuller, based on his spike week potential, and keep in mind, Will Fuller almost got paid $10 million last year. Like, teams are going to prioritize the speed. We saw Deshaun Jackson, just get cycled through the NFL near the end of his career. Teams will prioritize that speed. I've drafted Will Fuller in 18% of my leagues. I think Will Fuller does get signed. Maybe not to Cleveland now. Maybe he goes to Green Bay. I would love it. Obviously, I'm very biased there when we have him at 18% of our drafts. But I think where Will Fuller's been going in these drafts is completely fine price point. Like, I may even draft him again here in the 17th. A lot of these players in the 17th, they are not going to make any difference for you whatsoever. Okay. Dark horse on the clock. They go Will Fuller instead. We're going to go with Mr. Odell. We're going to go with Odell Beckham Jr. The old intro into the channel had him as, you know what, actually? Who scores more points for us this year? Let's take Brian Robinson Jr. F it. We'll go Brian Robinson Jr. And I think we're just going to go ahead and queue up some of these other wide receivers, guys like Devin Duvernay, Laviska Shenault, obviously Odell Beckham Jr., but he's not going to make it back because that team's on auto. It looks like we did not get to 150 likes in the live stream, so it looks like we'll be cutting the stream here. I am starving anyway, so I'm going to take that as an advantage so I can go and eat. But we'll be doing these drafts every single day. Just please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code FLOCK so you can get in some of these drafts with us. That's all I got for you. Thank you again. I hope you have a great day, and hope we get to see you with the video tomorrow.